Go ahead and call this regular city council meeting to order, 1800, June 24, 2021. Roll call. Looks like we have everybody in attendance in the chambers. We have Pledge of Allegiance led by Council Dixon, and then our invocation by Mr. Holbrook.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I say good evening. Let us pray. Eternal Father, blessed be your matchless name. Your words say that all things work together for the good of those who love you, to those who are called according to your purpose. God, we love you. We gather to carry out the task that you have given us in order to fulfill our purpose. We pray that you intervene in this meeting. Let it work for your good and for the good of our town and the local communities. Father, we ask for your grace and your mercy for those standing in danger of fires. Bless them, their homes, their animals, and their properties. We ask you to guard our firefighters, our police, our first responders, as they stand in defense of all those things that we hold sacred. And dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless us with rain upon this dry land and for blessings upon our great nation. All these prayers we pray in the name of your sweet Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Holbrook. Okay, moving on to item 4, consent agenda. We have consent agenda A. Chair will entertain a motion on consent agenda A.
No, we're just approving the consent agenda, aren't we? Just both of them at the same time?
We can do both at the same time if you prefer. We just go ahead and do consent agenda then, just a motion and a second on consent agenda A and B.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, A and B.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments or questions on any of those? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, motion passes. Moving on to item 5, call to the public for items on the agenda.
There are none.
We have no call to the public. Moving on to new business, Navajo County Historical Society Annual Report. Unfortunately, Jolynn could not be here tonight. She has left us with her report, so at your liberty, read through it. Moving on to new business, item B, Navajo County Fairgrounds Annual Report. Mr. Sample is with us this evening to give us that report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. As you all know, I'm Mike Sample. I'm president of the Navajo County Fair Board. Thank you for having me here tonight just to give our report on all the events that we've had and the upcoming events that are coming. As you know, like I reported last time, it's been busy for us down there. We've had several different events from barrel races, team ropings. High school rodeo was a major hit. They've already booked again for September, the weekend after the fair, and it's going to be the first rodeo of their season, so it's going to be even bigger and better. Yeah, so fortunately it's a week after the fair, so we're going to be worn out, but we're glad to have it. We've been working for years to get that up here, and so we're happy to have it and see them wanting to come back. They were amazed with the service that they received here in our community from all the restaurants, hotels that they stayed at and stuff, and so they were happy to come back. So moving on, upcoming events that we have next week. Next Thursday we have our regular summer series barrel race going on, and then on the 2nd we have the Turquoise Circuit Women's Pro Rodeo Association coming up, and they're having their barrel race here, and that's the first time we're having them here as well. And then starting July 5th through the 8th, we're going to have the Arizona Livestock Show, and that's going to be a show all week, teaching kids on how to show their livestock animals. And then at the end of the week, Friday and Saturday, we'll have the Route 66 Livestock Show. So the week is the camp, and then the weekend is the show. So that's a big event as well, and it always brings a lot of people from throughout the state as well as some of the neighboring states. So we're happy to see them back again this year. July and August, same thing, full of barrel races, gymkhanas, and some team ropings. And then starting September 11th is our first fair event, which is the annual 4-H horse achievement show for the 4-H kids. And that'll kick off our fair event Saturday, September 11th. And then September 15th through the 18th is our annual Navajo County Fair. It's our 90th annual fair this year. And so our theme is 90 years of making memories at the Navajo County Fair. So we'd like to invite you to partake, our city manager as well as any of the council members to come and partake in our opening ceremonies. Again, that'll be 6 o'clock. We're undecided yet if we're gonna have them at the regular stage like we always do, or have them at the grandstands. This year, for the first time, we're having Latin night. So Wednesday at 7 o'clock after opening ceremonies, we're gonna have 2 Latin bands performing at there. So hopefully that will bring a big crowd. Other fairs said you gotta do it, and it brings up a lot of people to their fair. So we're gonna try it this year, so hopefully it's a success. And then after opening ceremonies, we're inviting our local elected officials, board of supervisors, as well as city council members, if they want to participate in the pig showmanship contest. So it's a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for 4-H and junior livestock kids and FFA kids. It's $10 entry fee, and we'll have you down at the Showman Barn down there at the south end, and you get to show a pig and be judged. And if you win, you will win a buckle. So if you like to participate, yes, sir.
Mike, is that where the mayor kisses the pig?
He can, if like, we can hold him up there, and that'd be a good photo op, right? But if you wish, contact Michelle down at the fairgrounds, and we'll get you entered. But last year was the first year we tried it, and so this year we're trying to make it bigger and better, and just to raise some money for the kids that participate in our junior livestock association. So, and then Thursday night is our big demolition derby night, and Friday during the day we have our team roping event, and then Friday night our regular GCPRA rodeo, and Saturday the little buckaroo rodeo that starts around noon, and then Saturday night again our rodeo. And the rodeo is also a big event, one of the best rodeos that the GCPRA has in the state. So invite you all to come, and we're looking forward to that. And right after that, the weekend is high school rodeo. We've already booked April, I believe it's 8th through the 10th of next year. The Arizona Junior Rodeo Association have already booked the facilities for their events. So busy, we're busy, and that's good. I like to see a lot of people come to our community and have events here. As you know, this last week, the Navajo County Fairgrounds has been used as a boarding facility for evacuees that have had animals and need to board. We've had a few livestock, some horses and a donkey there, but mostly cats, dogs, some chickens and rabbits. And so we were able to house them there, and thank you to all the community members, Mr. Mayor, and also Councilman Wolford, who showed up and helped volunteer, had restaurants donate food for the workers there that volunteered. A lot of community members came in to help just walk the dogs. The dogs were traumatized, just being put in a cage and their owners left, and so they were happy just to get out and being walked. So a lot of community members stepped up and helped just show up and asked to volunteer. So thank you to everybody who were able to do that. And so again, thank you for the support that the city gives to the fair. Again, like I say, the money that we get from the lodger's tax goes to keep the facility open and running throughout the whole year. It doesn't go for any particular event or fair. It just goes to help maintain the facilities throughout the year. So we just want to again thank you for all the support that we get from the city. Any questions or comments that maybe I can answer?
Just a big thank you for all the hard work that you guys do. You know, I was over there the other day helping them set up and stuff, and you know, just the outpouring of people that come over to help, and of course the staff, the fair board members that came over and helped. And Michelle's over there as far as taking care of things. She's on top of it all. So you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I see a lot of, PLC going on with the buildings and stuff, looking really nice, so.
Yeah, we're in the process of redoing some painting. If you see, we painted some barn red, our ticket booths and everything, the
Yeah.
big showmanship barn. And actually, Michelle went and got some sponsors to redo our VIP section, and thank goodness she did, because they dug out the flooring underneath the grandstands there, and those old beams that are about 80 years old, the wood beams coming down were rotted out underneath there, so, we're in the process of getting all those repaired, so staying busy, making it look good. Thank
That's
you.
great,
Mike.
thank you.
Moving on to item C, Holbrook Chamber of Commerce Annual Report, Mr. Foya.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Cindy Tafoya. I am the part-time director for the Holbrook Chamber of Commerce, and I'm glad to provide you this evening with our annual report. So what Lisa's passing out right there is our strategic plan. It's actually my worksheet, so I'm sorry if there's some typos in there, but this is the best way for me to show you what we've been working on, and that it goes along with our strategic plan. And of course, this year, some of our objectives and strategies kind of took a change because of COVID pandemic, so we added some objectives or some different actions or strategies to address some of these things. So we do still have the same 5 goals as we presented last year. Our first goal is to help businesses grow. We partnered with the Arizona at Work to combine our efforts to develop an ambassador program. This program will provide trainings to employees of participating businesses on topics such as customer service, area knowledge, and other hot topics that the businesses identify. Employees who complete the trainings will receive recognition as a Holbrook ambassador. So we really want to incentivize this program so that businesses will want to send their employees. It'll be free of charge for them to participate. We're looking at partnering, like I said, with Holbrook or the Arizona at Work, so that we can do this online, so they can take courses like quarterly and earn some points towards a certificate at the end. Then they get a certificate, maybe a badge or some kind of item that they could put on their badge at work to say they are a Holbrook ambassador. We're finding some of our goals are coming and meshing together, so I will get to that as we move on here. We are in the process of having a new brochure designed as a 4-fold smaller version of what we've had in the past. I don't know if you've seen our current brochure. It is outdated. It's huge. It's like this big, and so when we send it to other offices, they tell us they can't fit it in their racks if we have anything smaller. So it's going to be a regular size brochure that actually is a 4-fold. In there, we found an old Holbrook brochure, which is really nice, that has the tour in 4 different areas. So you can look at like the White Mountain area, you can go to the reservation area, the Petrified Forest and Painted Desert. I think I showed this to Kip the other day. And so we want to incorporate that into this brochure, because part of our goal was to highlight the unique resources that surround us and to have something for visitors to look at, to encourage them to stay in town. We also have a digital assessment that was started by Colleen Marsh with a group of members from the board. Each of them are identifying local businesses on a Google search, so everyone was assigned several businesses in town to do a Google search on them, to see how accurate their information, to see if the map shows where they really are at this time. This will help us to develop a support program to help businesses to learn to use Google, because most people nowadays, when you go anywhere, you go to a town, you want to find somewhere to visit, you're going to Google it. And we want, for when people come to Holbrook, when they Google food, Mexican food, Chinese food, you know, quaint hotels, you know, things like that, we want everything in Holbrook to pop up, and so that's one of our goals there. We want to increase the visibility on the web. The other thing is a quick list was developed in regards to individuals who wish to start a business. It will soon become available on our website as a link. We don't want to duplicate what other agencies are already doing, so we do have a relationship with the Small Business Development Office with MPC, so that we can coordinate our efforts so that if there's more information they need than the basic on how to get your tax ID or your state tax IDs information, then they'll be able to link on to SBDC after that. Also, our participation with Northeast Arizona Response Team has been a great networking resource for us. It has led to collaborated projects for Northeast Arizona. And then added this year was the COVID response support, so that's a new objective on there. And due to the impact of the pandemic on our local businesses, I had the opportunity as a chamber director to participate in several local, state, federal meetings, trainings, and updates, and receiving information from OSHA's COVID safety, governor business impact meetings, the SBA loans, and grants, and many other things that were offered during the intense time of COVID when people were kind of panicking and not sure what to do or where to turn. They were offering all of that information. So I was able to provide that information to our businesses and resources. I also became a liaison and advocate for our community at these meetings. We applied for an APS grant for COVID response and recovery that added to increasing hours to allow more time for myself to gather and share the information. As you know, I'm part-time, and so I have 15 office hours and 5 event activity meeting hours, and so that was not sufficient during that time. And so working with APS, they were able to provide additional hours for me through a grant to allow me to attend those meetings and participate in those things to get the information out. The next item was Shop Local campaign. This year included a 12 days of Christmas shopping in December and a summer-long Please Shop Local campaign that was done as a collaborated effort with the Northeast Arizona and support of the SBDC and Arizona Commerce Authority. And so that's what I was saying earlier through some of the partnerships. We were able to come together, some of the chambers, some of the city representatives, and we put together that Please Shop Local. So you saw those yellow flags up all summer. Some are still up, but we also had posters that they could put in their windows, just because we wanted to encourage people to still support our small businesses. People had a great tendency to do a lot of Amazon shopping or shopping online during that time because they didn't want to get out, and so that really hurt some of the small businesses when they could have been purchasing those things there. And so we really wanted to continue to support small business through that campaign. The next thing I'll be doing is a business best friend through this Shop Local campaign. It's a radio interview. I don't know if you've heard it on the radio, but they interview different businesses or chambers or cities to find out what's going on. And so they've selected Holbrook Chamber to represent Holbrook businesses on July 8th. So we'll be doing that interview with them. 1C from the roundtable discussions with the Petrified Forest, we are able to develop a committee in which each person is tasked to reach out to an assigned park that is similar to Holbrook and the Petrified Forest. We're doing benchmarking, so we're trying to compare ourselves to other gateway communities that have national parks, and if they're successful, why are they successful? What do they have that we don't have? And what do we have that they do have that we can build upon? And so we're beginning that process, and part of the roundtables that started out with a different topic evolved into a committee that is actually now working on this together. So we are working with members of the Petrified Forest, reaching out to other parks and other communities to finish this task. Goal to change the perception of the chamber. We're still working on the first objective with the surveys and working to get that on the website so that membership can get on there and complete a survey. The second objective is keeping updates coming. Facebook has been kept current. We try to stay on there and stay active on there to keep the community informed. Our website is growing, and we continue to encourage our members to utilize the services of having a landing page. We've had this now for almost 2 years, our new website. New members get on and they get a landing page, and so the new members that are coming on with a $24.95 fee of onboarding, they get their own page. And so when you search for the chamber, you can see pictures at the bottom. You can either do it through the pictures or you can do it through their name. But you click on their picture and it opens up a page for that member. And that page will then have all their links and information that you can navigate to their website, if they have their own website or their Facebook page, any kind of social media. So it's really a wonderful tool, and so we're still getting used to it and getting members to utilize that because it is a great benefit to them. The other thing is we have the calendar that is on there, so we're continually encouraging the community to submit events to the chamber so that we can have a community calendar where it's a one-stop. You go, you can see what everybody's doing in town or what activities are happening for your local planning entertainment. We have said we would send out quarterly newsletters, and we have. We've begun to have the business roundtables. We said we were gonna do those quarterly, but we already had 3. And we're only halfway through the year because we had a request to do more. And so we find out that this is going to be a really good way to bring businesses together to network. Goal 3 is to revitalize downtown with a focus on the Main Street. We still haven't had a meeting yet with Ted, and we haven't asked for it yet, so let me clarify that. We haven't asked for it yet. We have not, because we want to develop a plan that will provide all of us with information as far as working on ideas and projects together as we move forward. But we have really valued Jason Fouts, his input and his support, and being able to work with us to help us to complete and move forward on some of the activities that we do. We said we were gonna find funding to create programs for beautification and community improvement. And we did apply for an Arizona Chamber of Commerce grant that we received in December. And it is in place now, and it's thank you, Adam Marsh. I asked Adam Marsh and Colleen, because they're so good with words and grants, and so they assisted me in writing this grant, and we did receive it, and we've already seen some of the results. We call it the Holbrook, the Holbrook Revitalization and Recovery Project. And so businesses can apply for up to $1,000 to paint their facade, to fix a window, to fix a door, to address landscaping, to address COVID safety needs if that's something they need to do within their building. But the idea was to get more traffic to businesses, and appearance and appeal was top on priorities for businesses because they felt that they could not address those things during COVID because they weren't bringing in any revenue, no money to spend on those things. And so this was really helping them out. And so you might have seen some of the things already done. We've got Esmeralda's, who put a new parking lot in front of her building. First Step Workshop has 1 sign up. They've got 1 more sign coming. We have Arizona Sake that will be getting their sign up. Empty Pockets has their new graveled parking lot and some paint, as well as some COVID stations inside of their buildings. So we have others that are working on their projects, and the reason they're held up a little bit is because the weather, you know, it's been really windy and they can't paint. And the other is they're utilizing local resources, and so some of our local painters are really booked. They're behind. We were just discussing how behind they are because they have so many projects going. But they are trying to do the local support. The other thing is we had a community cleanup day. We had several sponsors. Thank you to the city who worked with us on getting this done. We had coupons from the city that allowed people to dump trash if they were cleaning areas outside of our area. We also had Arts and Waste that gave us a huge rollaway for the items that we were picking up from Main Street. We covered all entry points into Holbrook, all the way through downtown area, uptown, and local public parks and areas that people frequent, or we know that visitors will go to. The next thing was the flower bed project. That was something I took on, and sadly, some of my flowers have died, so we've been replacing them little by little, but we did have several volunteers come out and help plant. We had a lot of donations of plants that we put out there, and so it's a learning process. We'll get it and we'll make it beautiful out there, but that was one of our projects. The other thing is that 2026 is Route 66 Centennial Birthday, and so many grants are coming out, and one of the objectives there was for us to share as much information that comes to us in regards to grants to businesses and entities that might be eligible for those grants. We have made a contact with someone who is linking us to a person out of DC. I haven't had that connection yet, but someone who can really help with identifying funds for the bucket of blood restoration. And so we're excited to make that connection and to see if there's any opportunity for us to access some of those funds and get that project started. We replaced the banners downtown. We had designers from the Petrified Forest and NPC who designed all of those banners. The city, I want to thank the city employee Tim Kelly and Manager Solstice for allowing him to get up there and change all those banners. It was a process. There was 72 banners, and so he had to get up and take one down and then get back up and put another one up, and so it was a long process. So we appreciate the support on that, but I think it makes it more colorful down there. We emphasized events, sites, historic sites, and local amenities that are offered to visitors as well. The next goal is to expose our town's unique resources. We are still working on our resource book. We have all the information collected. We are now having a template designed. Once a template's designed, we can input all the information, get those printed and out to all the motels and restaurants. We've had 2 media opportunities to showcase Holbrook and its businesses. Arizona Family News and Arizona Highways TV both were here. We worked with them to connect them with local businesses to interview and to show some of our area sites. We really were pushing for the Petroglyph Park, which they did do. So I'm really excited to see that. It hasn't aired yet, and she said she will notify us when they're ready to air it. And then currently I'm working with an indie filmmaker. He wants to film a scene here in our town. He says he loves the look and feel to our town, so he's looking at areas near the railroad. 4B, the guided education tours. That was delayed because of the pandemic and the gathering restrictions, but as things have been relaxed, we're going to be revisiting that objective because I feel that's an important part of our ambassador program. So part of the ambassador program may be to take a field trip or take a trip to the Petrified Forest, so they actually see where they're sending folks, the Petroglyph Park or the golf course or Bucket of Blood, the museum. So that will be started up as well. Goal 5 is to build strategic partnerships. Through this whole pandemic, I found that we were really relying on each other a lot. It really strengthened some of the partnerships that we had, but they just got stronger as we went through it because we're utilizing each other's resources and information. We are still part of the Northern Arizona Chamber Association. We're currently part of the Preserve Arizona. Our next steps with 5B is to host, we'd like to host networking meetings with the state, county, and ADOT representatives because we all are entities that still work together. And as we found through this, the more we learn about what people can do and can't do, then you can plan better on the front end before you start asking people to do things or requesting things. And so we really want to have some of those networking sessions. However, we are blessed with this past year with some of the great support that we received from Navajo County. We got a lot of support from Representative O'Halloran's office and Senator Kelly's office. And of course, our city of Holbrook would appreciate everything that the council has done. Ted Solstice, our city manager, and the workers, Jason Fouts and Tim Kelly, they've really been supportive of some of the chamber activities and efforts. And so moving forward, we started up our Holbrook Summer Dance. If you haven't seen them, they've already become very popular. Mondays, they say, are the busiest, so if you don't wanna interact with a big crowd, go a different day, but Mondays are very, full there, they said, the last 2 Mondays have been great. We have planned a movie Under the Stars, with a concession offering Navajo tacos. We're looking at the end of July to do that, so if you remember our big screen that we had last year with the movie theater, I'm not gonna mention, because we haven't yet received our final approval from our venue, but it'll be really nice on a grassy area and hopefully use of a whole big sound system where people can just spread out in the grass and watch a movie. And then we are planning to do an in-person Old West Fest this year with a backup plan, just in case things go south with COVID and the new variant of COVID, but we are planning to move forward with an in-person Old West Fest in October. And then, of course, our Christmas events are planned in person, and this year we're partnering with the Kiwanis Club and Peace Lutheran Church. And then we'll be working with the Kiwanis Club this July for July 3rd to do the outdoor activities for the children, the parade, the Spirit of America parade that they're gonna do. She's doing it on Saturday just so that she doesn't, they don't interfere with church services on Sunday. So the children's activities will be a parade and games afterwards.
Thank you, Cindy, appreciate it.
Sorry.
Anybody have
So
any
long.
questions or?
I have a question, Mayor. You mentioned the calendar on the Chamber's website. I'm on that right now. Is there somewhere else that we should go? It says calendar of the events, it only lists 2 things on here, and it doesn't list
Yeah,
like
when you
our
submit an
Independent-
event.
Or Independence Day, or
Mhm.
the fair, or anything like that.
Yeah, they haven't submitted anything yet, and that's why I was saying, I'm encouraging everyone to submit their event activities, their times. It's really easy, you just go on there, you say submit event, and then it gives you like an email with the questions for the date, the time, the place. If you have a flyer, if you have cost, you can put it all in there, and then you just press send, and it comes to me, I open it up and review it. If I have questions, if something's missing, or then I can send that back. Otherwise, I can just approve it, and then it gets put on that calendar.
Okay, so you're waiting for Mike to submit that for the fair?
Yeah, Michelle, yeah.
Okay.
That would be Michelle, and then
the
Twyla
fourth-
would do it for the
Okay.
Independence Day.
Independence Day is coming up really soon.
Yeah, and the Holbrook Fire Department would need to do theirs for the 4th.
Do all the entities know that they need to
Yes,
submit
yes,
these?
I've let them know, and I've reminded persons, and I've mentioned it here, and I've mentioned it at chamber meetings. I think I even put it in newsletters that I've sent out, but it's new, like I said, it's new, and so we're really trying to encourage and remind people to use it, so that way it becomes a habit. You know, anytime anybody wants to do something, you just submit it. Yeah, and there's no cost. I should say that, there's no cost. So if you wanna put something on there, there's no cost to advertise it there through the calendar.
Good tool.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? None?
Thanks.
Cindy, thank you, appreciate it. Okay, moving on to new business, item D, which is a rezoning. There is a correction on there. This is 115 Hampshire, that should be 115 East Hampshire Street for rezoning to residential, commercial, C2 general commercial,
I'll put my other hat on, I'm
Put your other
the
hat on,
planning and
Mr. Sample.
zoning chairman,
Planning and
planning and
zoning.
zoning committee chairman. So, back on May 20th, the planning and zoning commission met in regards to a, application for zone change permit that was submitted by Spartan Inc., who owns the property where Super Fuels is located there on Navajo Boulevard. They were requesting to rezone the property immediately behind it, and at 115 East Hampshire Street. It was zoned residential commercial, which allows for certain commercial businesses along with residents in the same zoning area. They requested that be changed to C2, which is the commercial zoning only. And so the city did send out notifications to all the residents and businesses within the 300 foot limit, and we had no responses, no objections. So after discussing it in the planning and zoning meeting, it was approved to send that zone change to the city council. And what they're looking at doing is expanding their current building right now back. There was a home located behind there that has since been removed, and they're just waiting for the approval so they can expand their business there. That was it.
Okay, actually, let's move on to a motion in a second, and we'll bring it open for discussion. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the rezoning.
So moved.
Have a
Second.
motion, have a second, motion and a second. Okay, we'll open it for discussion. Any comments or questions? Councilman Dixon?
So do they already have 109 and 105?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay, and the front part of that along Navajo Boulevard, what lot is that?
I don't have the parcel number on there, I just have what they submitted.
Okay.
But that was,
So
they
what-
own that whole, they own, actually, they own the whole area there, from the front location on Navajo Boulevard, 109 and 105, also 115 they own. They just needed to change that to C2 commercial.
Okay, just 115, right?
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or concerns? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing no opposed. Thank you, Mr. Sampler, appreciate it. Okay, now we will be on item E, resolution 21-07, a resolution adopting fiscal year 2022 tentative budget. I'll read this by heading only if there's no objection. A resolution 21-07, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Holbrook, Navajo County, Arizona, adopting fiscal year 2022 tentative budget. Okay, let's see, resolution, we need a motion and a second.
I move we adopt resolution 2107.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, resolution calls for roll call vote.
Can I need to
We have
discuss.
discussion.
So the total amount is 9,017,993.
So you go to the-
The 11,980.
You want to
It's
go?
11,980, 862 is the amount that we're
Gotcha.
adopting.
Okay. Okay.
Any other comments or concerns? Hearing none, we'll open for roll call vote.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Kester,
Aye.
Councilmember Marsh,
Aye.
Councilmember Nielsen, Vice Mayor Payne,
Aye.
Councilmember Wolford,
Aye.
Mayor Young.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to item F, resolution 21-08, a resolution designating a chief fiscal officer, CFO, for the purpose of submitting annual expenditure limitation reports. Okay, I will read this by heading only if there's no objection. Resolution 21-08, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Holbrook, Navajo County, Arizona, designating the chief fiscal officer, CFO, for the purpose of submitting the annual expenditure limitation report. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go ahead and read the whole thing just so we know who it is. Whereas Arizona Revised Statute 41-1298-07E requires each city to annually provide an auditor general by July 31st, the name of the CFO designated to submit the annual expenditure limitation report. Now therefore be it resolved by the city of Holbrook that Randy L. Sullivan Jr. is the CFO designated to submit the annual expenditure limitation report. Passed and adopted by the mayor of the city council of the city of Holbrook this 24th day of June 2021.
Mayor, can we have clarification on the Arizona Revised Statute reference there, please? I think you misquoted it.
41-1279.07E.
Thank you.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution 2108.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do you have any comments or concerns on this? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Dixon,
Aye.
Councilmember Kester,
Aye.
Councilmember Marsh,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Payne,
Aye.
Councilmember Wolford,
Aye.
and Mayor Young.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, that resolution passed. Thank you, Randy. Okay, moving on to the last item on the agenda, item G, the appointment of city clerk, Manager Soltis.
Yeah, so just go ahead and read the council action form, per city charter, section 4.02, city clerk. Quote, "The manager, with the approval of council, shall appoint an officer with the title of city clerk who shall be responsible to the manager. I appoint Lisa Hunt to the position of city clerk effective June 29th. She has been in the position of deputy city clerk since December 28th. I had a little clarification to that. She's actually had that position for a while now, but with the retirement of one of our staff members, she's also taken on those extra duties. She has passed her probationary period and has completed additional training to upgrade her skills in preparation for the clerk position. So,
Recommendation of the city manager is to select Lisa Hunt for city clerk. Okay. Chair will entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the city manager's appointment recommendation and appoint Lisa Hunt to the position of city clerk.
And second it.
Motion and a
So
second.
we-
Comments or concerns?
So are we making a motion to approve this? Is it
To approve the
by
council action,
Thank
to
you.
approve his appointment. Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we will move on to item 7, call to the public for non-item, agenda items.
There is one.
We do have one. Andrew and Jenny Craigenbaum? Did I say that right? Craigbaum, Brookings Valley. If you'd like to step up, we give you 3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes.
Well, we're Andrew and Jenny Craigbaum, and we are grateful to be here. Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're new to Holbrook area. We actually don't live in the city limits, but we're new to the area, and we feel that we've been called to this area and bringing our family here. We have 10 children, 8 still living at home, and we also have been, as we walk through town, have seen some things that have kind of drawn us, some things that are stirring our hearts, and we just wanted to be here to kind of introduce ourselves. And as we've been working our way through town, not systematically, so to speak, but just speaking with people, Bread of Life Mission, we've made contacts with different businesses, just kind of getting a feel for town. And so I just wanted to come before the council as well, as we have a heart for the city already, even though we're new. We've met several that are also fairly new to town, last couple of years, 2-3 years, some 6 months. We've now been here 3 months. We have a desire to help bring hope to the town. We don't know exactly what that's gonna look like. We just wanna be a part of it. We feel that there's some, obviously with a lot of the businesses closed and some of the areas kind of economically depressed or run down, we also feel that there's kind of a depression in general, and we want to do our part to help kind of bring hope. One of the things that we have a desire to do is to bring a small business to town, and that what we've been praying about is a laundromat. We know that there are 2 small ones in town, but we also ourselves travel to Taylor to do our laundry in a big facility that is clean and well maintained. In our time there, we've come across several from the Holbrook area that drive down there as well. So we see it as a need, and it's something that is a need for all walks of life that are in need of a place to do laundry, whether there's lockdowns or not. It's a place that is something that needs to be done, is laundry in a nice place to do it. That's something that we want to help bring to Holbrook. And so our intent in coming tonight is just to kind of make ourselves known that we are here and we want to be a part of bringing hope to town in whatever way that is. And so we appreciate the time. We've also talked with some in the city, and so we're just trying to put it out there. So we appreciate that. That's all we have for tonight.
I'd like to welcome you and thank you. We need a lot more citizens like you, small entrepreneurs that want to come in and build, start little. I think that's a lot of what Holbrook needs. We welcome you with open arms and glad you're here, and we'd love to see a lot more people like you show up to council meetings.
Thank you. And we homeschool, so part of it is bringing our kids to see how city government works. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time. Thank you. Okay, moving on to summary of current events. I guess my turn. I'll basically just kind of touch on what Mr. Sample brought up. As far as the Fair Board, I'd like to extend a thank you from the council to the Fair Board and Navajo County Fairgrounds for stepping up in the situation of the evacuees. It's wonderful to see the help that we get from our surrounding partners, our community members coming over to help, bringing water, coming over, like Mike said, volunteers coming out, walking dogs and stuff like that. That's what makes Holbrook. I kind of went through the same type of situation with the Rodeo Chedeschi fire. It was a nightmare. Fortunately, this one didn't last too long. That one lasted almost 3 weeks. And also extend a thank you to the Coconino Humane Association. They sent a group of people over here that kind of organized and ran things over there with the small animals and stuff like that. Thank you to the Coconino Humane Society, Humane Association for coming over. And also local businesses, as most of you have noticed on Facebook, a lot of our restaurants in town were offering specials to the evacuated people, which is really great to see the business owners and stuff step up to help the outside people. A big thank you to our local businesses. And also be remiss not to mention a thank you to the thousands of men that are out there in the forest. I've been there, I know what they're going through, and it's not fun. It is scary. And fortunately on this end they're kind of catching up to a little bit. Flagstaff unfortunately is not getting much better. So just hold these guys and men and women in your hearts and pray for them. They're gonna need a lot of prayer, a lot of help. So, and also one more thing was brought up already. 4th of July barbecue is coming up. Usually last year, because of COVID, they went to a drive-through only. This year, what they're going to do is give you an option. From talking to the chief, they'll give you an option of going in and sitting and visiting, or you can use the drive-through option. So it ought to be an interesting event. So I did it for almost 40 years.
It'll be on Saturday or Sunday.
It will be on July 4th. It will be on Sunday, July 4th. Okay, moving on to council members. Vice Mayor Payne.
I would like to ride the mayor's coattails on thanking everyone and add in the school district.
I'm sorry, I did forget those.
They make a great partner anytime Holbrook needs something, and I appreciate their efforts. And really, I'm just grateful that the Wyrick fire seems to have calmed down, and it's not gonna cause us the problems that it could. And
Pray for rain.
pray for rain. That little bit we got seemed to have helped quite a bit. So, thank you all that are joining me in those prayers, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Dixon.
I don't have anything, Mayor, thank you.
Councilman Marsh.
I want to thank everybody in town who pitched in to help out our neighbors. they rely on us at times like this, and we'll have times where we rely on them. So this is how lasting friendships and partnerships are made, thanks to our own police and fire, who are always on standby to help out any way they can. I want to remind folks that every acre of national forest land in northern Arizona, from Kaibab, Coconino, and Apache Sicarius County, are fully closed. So keep that in mind. When you're recreating here coming up, including state lands are also closed. I haven't checked with the White Mountain Apache tribe, but just be aware of what you're doing, where you're doing it, and let's not cause any more work for the people who are already putting their lives on the line for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Nixon.
I attended a NACON meeting today, virtually. It was gonna be in Jerome, and they canceled it at the last minute. And so for the first time in NACON history, it was a 1-hour meeting. It was enjoyable to sit there and listen to. The things that affect Holbrook are, there's still some grants for safety related highway projects and transportation projects. They're available, and there's deadlines next month and deadlines at the end of the year. So that's something we might look at. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Wolford.
Yeah, a shout out to the community, Holbrook. I mean, really stepping up and helping out our neighbors there with the shelter and for the livestock, the dogs, a lot of dogs, and evacuees. I know something was posted on Facebook that first night of the evacuation, and within an hour, over 215 residents of Holbrook responded. And then from there, it just, the donations, it was amazing. It was, I was a recipient of the Rodeo Chetaskai fire. At that time, I lived up in the Sholo area, and I had horses, and luckily, Holbrook, the county fairgrounds opened up, and was able to put my livestock there. So I know how it feels to need, and how grateful it is to receive, and especially from a community like Holbrook. Seemed like Rodeo Chetaskai fire came right after the 9/11, and then this fire comes with right after the pandemic. So I know businesses are hurting, but they sure step up. Nothing gets in Holbrook's way when it comes to supporting our communities. So thank you to Holbrook. I really appreciate it. I'm proud to be a member of this community and representative of you. So good job.
Thank you, Councilman Wolford. Councilman Kester.
Well, to our new family, you're probably gonna enjoy the fireworks and our barbecue. It's unique. I know that our fireworks is one of the best around, because I had people used to come from Springerville, St. John's, Heber, Overgard, Sholo, and they still do. So you'll enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. City Manager.
Shout out also to all those folks that helped out with this fire situation. It's one of the special things about living in a small community, seeing people come together and help others out. Really appreciate that. The small swimming pool is showing its age. Cracks have surfaced, and unfortunately there have been some sharp edges in those cracks that are harmful. So we are in the process of resurfacing the pool. We had to put in some new concrete around those little cracks, and then we're putting a sealant over the top, a special type of epoxy that'll make the pool a little bit safer for the kids, and it also will extend its life. So please be patient, maybe another couple of weeks before we get that process done. As you know, as a reminder, we replaced recently the heater for the swimming pool, for the showers and sinks. Unfortunately, the heater for the pool itself is just as old as the boiler for the showers was, and so we are in the process of doing some research to see what our options are for replacing that heater. Then finally, 4th of July, great, wonderful, looking forward to that. City Hall will be closed July 5th in honor of the holiday, and just want to encourage everyone to have a safe and enjoyable break for that time. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, City Manager. Moving on to item 9, submissions of written petitions for items not on the agenda.
There are none.
We have none. Item 10, motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion second for adjournment, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed.
Oh.
Thank you, guys, appreciate it. Good meeting.